Do do bow 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 down 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 down. Do do down 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 do do down 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 down. Well, my friends, bum, 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 feel it's their appointed duty. Bum, dum, 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 dum. They keep trying to tell me that all you want to do is use me. Bum, 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 bum. But my answer, baby, to all this use me stuff. I will say that I want to spread the news that if it feels this good getting used, oh yeah, just keep on using me. Until you use me up. Until you use me up. Hey folks, Silver 5150 here, going over some endangered species. These are rare coins now. Guys, did you ever think we'd get to the time when regular coins like these were going to be rare? And what I mean by rare, it's like you try to go online and find them, good luck. All right, little Bill Withers there, by the way. That was my best, and it's what you get when you hang out with Silver 5150. It is a staple now. Afternoon, croon, right? And then we start to talk about the sharp and shiny that really matters. That 2016-15 Congo Gorilla, that's my favorite, man. The 2015, it just looks, I mean, you could see the sound reverberating out of its maw. You know, it's just not happy at all. And then, Republic of Congo, that is the seal on the back of this one. That's 2015, 5,000 francs. But then if you go to the back of this Republic of Congo giraffe in 2019, you'll see that it's only 20 francs. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. Lebanon today, they lost probably another 5 or 10% off of their currency. It's the Lebanon pound, I think. And the Lebanese pound. And what's been happening over the last 6 months is that currency has been devaluing, even though it's pegged to other currencies, in the gray market and the black market over the last 6 months. And the people are really getting pissed off over Lebanon because they're losing a lot of purchasing power. Well, when you look at something like this from the Congo back in 2015, and it was 5,000 francs, and then you look at this coin that's 1 ounce of silver, just like the gorilla, and it's 20 francs in 2019. What just happened? I think there was a currency devaluation in which the currency in the Congo got revalued again, and they took some zeros off and even took some denominations off. And now what you have is something on the order of, I don't know, probably 100 times the valuation. Well, actually more than that, about 250 times the valuation in this, which is not hard to do with currencies. But anyway, we'll get into that later. These coins here, this Congo giraffe, it's a newer theme for 2019, the World's Wildlife Series. Maybe because it's a proof, like it's got a different denomination than the regular BU gorilla. I don't know. But we know that we live in a world of currency devaluation now. We know we live in a world of unlimited money printing from all of the world's central banks. Shinzo Abe from Japan just joined this week, and they promised to print QE, quantitative easing, into infinity for the Japanese people, which has created stagflation, meaning that even though they're printing all this money, the Japanese people, they're very thrifty and they're saving their money. They're not going to sit there. They're not going to spend it. They're going to save it for a rainy day. They don't know it's pouring cats and dogs right now. But, yeah, they're saving that money for a rainy day. Speaking of dogs, Year of the Dog, this is 2014, I believe. No, wait, that's Year of the Horse, 2017. 1 ounce Royal Canadian Mint Maple Leaf, Year of the Dog, frosted theme. I'm sorry, when it comes to maples, the frosted theme, it just wins for me. It is so rich looking, it looks kind of icy, and then the leaf is in there. It's like a proof finish and stuff. And then, nobody cares about the queen, but, it's a proof finish on her, and then it's got the frosted look there, and it's supposed to be some security feature to have it like that. I don't know. All I know is I got these things a couple of years ago when Spot was in the 14s around $17. Okay, $17, with $14 Spot, well, 14 plus, and then $2 plus premium on them. And I guess it's going to bring me into what I'm talking about tonight, and that's going to be a little bit about credit. Okay, I spoke to one of my subscribers yesterday, asked me my thoughts about credit, and I just basically told them that to me, credit was like a fire extinguisher behind a glass cabinet, and you don't want to pull a fire extinguisher out, like you don't want to yell fire in a building until it's time, until it's really an emergency. It's time to break that glass. The glass for me was $14 spot with anywhere from 49 cent to 2.99 premiums on silver. That was the only time I allowed, the only two times back in 2016, I think 18, to break the credit glass, to break the glass, and it was an emergency because we were never going to see those prices with those premiums again. And so I did. I loaded my credit card 2 or 3 times, and when I loaded a credit card and I couldn't pay it off fast enough, I got a debt consolidation loan at about 9% to clear that card and then use it again to buy more stuff because I wasn't able to raise debit or cash fast enough to do it, to take advantage of the short window that had, the $14 silver. And that's when I bought a lot of my silver. So when asked, do I think credit's a good idea? I think credit is a good idea when you have a means of income that's pretty stable, I mean very stable, and the situation warrants it. It becomes an emergency situation in your eyes. And to me, cheap silver, quality silver, was an emergency situation. So I use credit for that, and I don't regret that one bit. I'm paying it down now and stuff, but like I said, I have a pretty stable job and it helps me stay on top of it. But you've noticed that my silver stacking has slowed down quite a bit because I've maxed out everything. So what I mean, I've maxed out everything. I've taken every bit of debit, every bit of credit that I've come across, and I have monetized into silver. That's right. You've heard me say that I monetize credit into silver. Okay, let's just talk about credit real quick. So if I have a credit card and it has some purchasing ability on it, it has some monetary units on it that I can use to purchase, even though it's not mine, it belongs to the credit company, but I have access to it and I can use it, that makes it purchasing power, right? That makes it money, right? Well, in the eyes of the government that prints as much debt as it needs to pay bills that it can't afford, they're basically using credit too. I know they're Federal Reserve notes that the United States, the Federal Reserve is minting and printing, and the Treasury is helping them with it. But that's not money. It's not money. The only real money is right here. That's silver and then gold, of course, because they don't have any counterparty risk. They are pretty much a bank within themselves. This right here is a tiny, tiny bank. It is saving up energy and effort. It is storing value. It is storing your wealth inside of it for another day when you want to unlock it, sell it, and use it for something else. While it's doing that, it might actually be gaining in monetary value, meaning that whatever currency that's the value of the day, there may be more currency inside. If I bought this gorilla for $17 and I sell it for $34, I have doubled the amount of cash that I can get out of my bank. My bank account's gone up 100%. This is a little tiny bank. All these are little tiny banks. But when it comes to credit, you have to understand that it's everywhere and everybody's doing it. Even if they, think they're, paying things down and whatnot, you still have credit that you're working on paying down. If you have debt consolidation loans, if you have student loans, if you have a home loan, these are good debt instruments, but they're still debt. All right. And so you have to ask yourself, if you're going to go into debt, is it going to be something worth going into debt over, like a home? A home is very much worth going into debt over. It's better if you don't have to, but most people have to because debt has increased and inflated the prices on everything out there. And so you have to choose or pick your battles to see what's worth getting in debt over. I got in debt over silver and over a car. Now, fortunately, I had enough debit, which is cash, to purchase the initial parts of my metals position to the effect that it overruns, or the value of it is higher than the amount of credit I owe. I owe about 1/3 of my stack to credit. So if I wanted to liquidate and pay that off right away, I could go ahead and do that, but my stack would be a lot smaller, probably around 9,500 ounces. And I want it to stay big to see if I can get my bank to expand in cash that it's available to help me pay down the debt with. If I can take this silver right here, it evaluates or revaluates 3 or 4 times, meaning it's going to be anywhere from, $65,000 to $80,000 in cash, then I could use, quite a bit less to pay my debt down. So I hope that clears things up. So only use credit if it's, an emergency, quote unquote. And everybody's definition of emergency is different. If you had to have, emergency surgery for one of your children and you had a $50,000 credit card with a $50,000 limit, and you didn't have any other means to pay to get the process going or to pay for the surgery, I bet you would do it because that's what would be required for that emergency to save your child. And I don't mean to be extreme when I say that. It's just for me, the only thing that I really have that I consider an emergency is being completely ready or as ready as possible for this wealth transfer that's going to take place. When they start to devalue the dollar, like they're devaluing the Lebanese pound, and they're going to start to steal purchasing power away from the people when they do that. And I'm sure the Fed's thinking about that. Moving right along. Gold and silver hung on today. They got beat up a little bit. And despite that, they finished in the green, and now it looks like they're green going into the night. And they're going to start benefiting from some of these Fed promises. The Fed, they spend a lot of money trying to get the markets, the equity markets up, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and the Russell 2K, keep those moving upward. But they also spend quite a bit of money trying to keep metals suppressed. And you see, and if you looked on the debt clock today, we went from 173 point some odd contracts on silver per ounce to 174 something, which means they created some more paper contracts to keep the price of silver down in the 15s. So desperate measures, desperate times call for desperate measures, and they're desperate to keep silver low, so people will not start, people won't start believing it is money and just stick with the paper. So that's the game we're playing, but it's getting close to the end. Powell said he's going to continue to use every tool in the toolbox to make sure that, they can get their stuff done. They can go ahead and keep the market supported and everything. And when people hear that, the markets hear that, they love it. They love it. They love it. They love it. So, but it's to defeat the virus, by the way. He's not using the money to keep the markets propped up. He's using it to defeat the coronavirus. But all the money, strangely enough, is heading into the banks and stuff. Speaking of banks, I don't know if you guys heard, but Scotiabank is getting out of the silver fixing game. That's right, part of the London gold and silver pool. For the last 300-400 years, they've been, fixing the price of silver and keeping it stable so it never be looked again as money. And so it looks like Scotiabank's getting out of the game. So that's 3 down. That is Deutsche Bank, for obvious reasons. They are complete crap, and their stocks are going to go into zero, probably, like oil. And then there was JP Morgan, who decided they had enough physical silver, and they wanted to go net long on silver, waiting for the price to go up instead of fighting to keep the price down. And so now Scotiabank is next. We still got HSBC and Goldman Sachs and, the usual suspects, Bank of America and all those guys, Citibank, that are, working to keep credit going by keeping the dollar going, because the dollar is no better than credit right now, honestly, in terms of its value. It's purchasing power. It gives you a little more debit, but it's pretty much credit itself. Excuse that. I don't normally do that. If you haven't heard about the Automatic Boost to Communities Act, or the ABC Act for short, okay, it basically is the financial side to this new stimulus they're talking about doing. They were saying something on the order of $2,000 lump sum payment and then $1,000 a month for the next 6 months or something like that, right? But get ready, guys. They're talking about using two $1 trillion platinum coins to fund the project, so there'll be no new debt, quote unquote, to the system by doing that. I can't even, it's like I'm trying to swallow my own head right now. I don't understand okay. So I guess these coins are going to be the size of above ground swimming pools or something, and they're just going to keep them down in the basement of the Treasury, and, maybe every once in a while we'll get a special on the History Channel showing us that they really exist. I don't know, but I mean, look, we're talking about monetizing metal to cover, extreme amounts of debt. Now, don't go out and buy platinum thinking that's going to be the answer. That's not the answer. The point is that they're breaking down and they're thinking of new creative ways to create more debt. They're not concerned about paying the debt that we have right now. They're not going to pay that. They don't care about that. But they want something that sounds good, that's going to allow the people to let them continue creating currency out of thin air. And so, platinum-backed community program, everybody's for it. Okay, and so that's the games they're playing with that. All you need to do is you just need to keep stacking silver. Keep stacking silver, man, because it's going to play into all this towards the end. When they're trying to convince people to just spend something, get the economy moving. We've got businesses that want to get going. We've got products that want to be sold, but we need people to start spending. And they're going to have to release, I think, silver as money, all right, for people to use, along with whatever currency and digital currency they have, simply because they need to get economic motion going. That's it. So what will that mean for us? I don't know how much purchasing power we'll have per ounce. All I know is Louisiana Purchase. We did the calculation again today. It was actually 34 acres for 1 ounce of silver, not 42. 34 acres for 1 ounce of silver, based on the price today. So I guess it changes from day to day. Anyway, so to boost Communities Act, let's hope we get all our stimulus checks. Again, Silver Joker talked about how he's going to spend his money, and I am all for it. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I'm going to talk about these coins in a minute, but did you stack today? Did any of you stack today? If you want to comment on something you might have bought today, that would be great. I'm trying to go after 100-ounce bars. That is my next thing, guys. I've got plenty of everything else. I've got, a couple of monster boxes of kilos. I've got, 1 ounces. I've got, monster box or so of 10-ounce bars, and I've got the huge 10-ounce bar position with Money Metals Exchange inside their vault. And so, did you stack today? If not, will you stack tomorrow? Payday is Friday. I'm going to have to wait another payday because I let all my bills kind of pile up, and so I'm taking care of those. That'll be on the first of the month, and then the end of the month I'll be clear, and I might be able to jump on one of those 100-ounce secondary market silver bars at JM Bullion if the spot price is still good and the premiums are not, confiscatory. I think they're $3 an ounce right now for 100-ounce secondary bars. Guys, I remember they used to be 49 cents over spot all day long, and that's when you could get them, readily. They're coming back, but they're coming back with these high premiums. It's pretty sad. All right, and so that's going to do it. We'll see if any of the Fed promises bleeds over into gold and silver tomorrow, and we'll talk about that in the morning a little bit, see what else is going on. I don't think it's going to be too dramatic. Equities might be down a little bit. Oil's probably going to continue up because they're ready for it to go up now. But there's a lot of market manipulation out there. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. And I've learned that if you click that notification bell and you actually click all, it will let you know whenever I post a video and you won't miss out on one. All the channels I like subscribing to, I do that with. That way I don't miss any of their shows. And you guys know who you are. The usual suspects. But yeah, let's just all stay on track, man, and continue stacking and share with each other and just, get through this thing and grow and then take advantage of it when it starts to flip, and it's going to flip soon. So, all right, we'll talk to you later.